Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and everything you have built is gone. Your savings account shows zero. Your investments have been wiped clean. Your assets have vanished into thin air. You are standing in your living room with nothing but the clothes on your back, your current knowledge, and an internet connection. There is no safety net beneath you. There is no rich uncle coming to bail you out. There is no head start. It is just you, the unforgiving economy, and an empty bank account that screams at you every time you open the app. For millions of people watching this right now, this is not a hypothetical thought experiment. This is their reality every single morning. They are waking up at zero, or worse, below zero, staring at a mountain of bills with a shovel that feels entirely too small. The fear that comes with that position is paralyzing. It feels like you are trapped in a deep, dark well, and every time you try to claw your way up the damp walls, you slip and slide back down further than where you started. Most of the financial advice you see on YouTube is completely useless for this person. They tell you to diversify your portfolio, or maximize your 401k match, or stop buying lattes. That is like telling a drowning man to improve his butterfly stroke. It doesn't help him breathe. When you are at zero, you don't need optimization. You need a rescue mission. You need a specific, aggressive, tactical battle plan to get out of the danger zone before the system eats you alive. My name is John. This is the Penny Plan, and today I am going to do something different. I am going to simulate exactly what I would do if I lost it all today. I am not going to give you generic platitudes about working hard. I am going to give you the exact day-by-day, dollar-by-dollar blueprint I would use to go from zero to financial freedom in the modern economy. This is the protocol for the restart. Before we lay out the plan, we have to understand why starting from zero is so incredibly difficult. It is not just about the lack of money. It is about fighting against the force I call the gravity well. In physics, a gravity well is the massive pull of an object that keeps you trapped in its orbit, making escape require immense energy. In finance, poverty has its own gravity, and it is crushing.
When you have money, the system is designed to give you more money. Banks pay you interest. Credit cards give you points and cash back. Opportunities come to you because you have the capital to seize them. But when you have zero, the system is designed to extract value from you. You pay monthly maintenance fees just to have a checking account because your balance is too low. You pay higher interest rates on loans because you look risky to lenders. You pay more for basic goods like toilet paper and food because you can't afford to buy in bulk at Costco. This is known as the poor tax, and it is very real, costing the average low-income household thousands of dollars a year. But the invisible enemy isn't just the rigged economic system. It is the biological state of your own mind, known as scarcity brain. When you are broke, your brain physically changes how it processes information. Your field of vision narrows. You become hyper-focused on immediate survival, paying rent tomorrow, putting gas in the car tonight. This tunnel vision makes it biologically impossible to plan for the future. You cannot think about where you want to be in 5 years when you are terrified about where you will be in 5 minutes. This state of biological panic causes your IQ to temporarily drop. It impairs your decision-making. This is exactly why get-rich-quick schemes work so well on broke people. When you are desperate, you don't want a 10-year plan. You want a lottery ticket. You want the crypto coin that goes to the moon. You want the drop shipping course that promises millions in a month. But those schemes are traps designed to take the last few dollars you have and leave you with nothing. The biggest lie you have been told is that you can save your way out of zero. You cannot. If you are making minimum wage and you have $0, cutting out Netflix isn't going to make you a millionaire. It is simple math. You cannot budget your way out of a mathematical hole. You have to engineer a bridge to cross it. The plan I am about to give you requires you to accept a brutal truth. The cavalry is not coming. The government is not going to save you. A lottery win is not going to save you. No one is coming to save you. You have to become the architect of your own rescue. And to do that, you have to stop acting like a victim of the economy and start acting like a mercenary within it. If I woke up at zero today, I would divide my recovery into 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 is the triage. Phase 2 is the stabilization. Phase 3 is the acceleration. And Phase 4 is the exit. You cannot skip a phase. If you try to accelerate before you stabilize, you will crash and burn.
Phase 1, the triage, days 1 to 30. The goal here is simple. Stop the bleeding and secure the perimeter. When you are at 0, you are in a medical emergency. You do not worry about your long-term health plan. You worry about the gunshot wound in your leg. The very first thing I would do is what I call a ruthless audit. I would sit down at my kitchen table, print out my bank statements, and look at every single obligation I have. Rent, phone, food, subscriptions, minimum debt payments. And I would cut everything that is not required for biological survival. Netflix is gone. Spotify is gone. Eating out is gone. If it doesn't keep me warm or fed, it is gone. This is not a lifestyle choice forever. This is a survival tactic for 30 days. This is wartime. Next, I need liquidity immediately. I need cash in my hand to break the psychological panic loop. I would look around my apartment or my room. Most people who think they have $0 actually have $500 to $1,000 sitting around in the form of junk. Old clothes, electronics, furniture, books, video games. I would sell absolutely everything that isn't nailed down on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or OfferUp. Why? Because I need a panic buffer. I need $1,000 in cash as fast as humanly possible. This $1,000 is not for spending, it is for sanity. It prevents a flat tire from becoming a bankruptcy event. It stops the cortisol from flooding my brain so I can actually think straight. It buys me the mental clarity to move to phase 2. During this triage phase, I am also securing my 4 walls: shelter, food, utilities, and transportation. If I can't afford my apartment, I am moving immediately. I am getting a roommate. I am moving back in with parents. I am sleeping on a friend's couch. Pride is the enemy of the broke. I would rather look like a loser for 6 months and be rich forever than look rich for 6 months and be broke forever. Phase 2, the stabilization, months 2 to 6. Now that the bleeding has stopped and I have my panic buffer, I need to widen the gap. The gap is the difference between my income and my expenses. The wider the gap, the faster I escape the gravity well. At this stage, I have to accept that I cannot save my way to wealth. I have to earn my way out. I need to increase my income floor. If I am working a minimum wage job or a low-skill job, my number one priority is not investing. It is not crypto. It is skill acquisition.
I would look for high-leverage skills. These are skills that businesses are desperate for and are willing to pay for without a degree. In the current economy, these are things like sales, copywriting, video editing, or data analysis. Notice I didn't say go back to college. College is slow and expensive. I am talking about skills I can learn on YouTube or cheap courses in 4 weeks. I would treat my evenings like a second job. If I work 9 to 5 to pay the bills, I work 6 to 10 to build my future. I would pick one skill, let's say video editing, and I would obsess over it. I would consume every tutorial. I would edit free videos for people just to build a portfolio. My goal is to get my first freelance client. This is the side hustle phase, but not driving for Uber or DoorDash. Uber is a trap because you are trading time for money and destroying your car in the process. I want a side hustle where I trade skill for money. If I can edit 4 videos a month for $200 each, that is an extra $800. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you are at 0, $800 is life-changing capital. With this extra income, I am not buying new shoes. I am filling the bucket. I am taking that $1,000 panic buffer and growing it to a 3-month emergency fund. This is the financial fortress. Once I have 3 months of expenses saved, I am no longer a slave to my boss. I can speak up. I can negotiate. I can breathe.
Phase 3, the acceleration, months 6 to 18. This is where the magic happens. I have stabilized. I have a skill.
Now I need to scale. I would take that side income and try to turn it into my main income. Or I would use my new skill to leverage a better job. If I learned sales on the side, I would apply for sales jobs that offer commission. Sales is the only profession where you can write your own paycheck without a degree. If you are good at selling, you will never be poor again. During this phase, I am still living like I am in phase 1. I haven't upgraded my apartment. I haven't bought a new car. I'm keeping my expenses rock bottom while my income doubles. This causes the gap to explode. I might be saving 50% of my income now. This is when I start investing. But I am not picking stocks. I am not trying to be the next Warren Buffett. I don't have the time or the ego for that. I am following a boring, automated, fail-proof strategy. I would open a Roth IRA. This is a retirement account where the money grows tax-free forever. If I put money in there and it grows to $1 million, the government gets zero. I would max this out. I would buy a simple, low-cost index fund like the S&P 500 or a total stock market index. I am betting on the American economy. If the American economy collapses, money won't matter anyway. If it grows, I grow with it. I would set this to auto-pay. The day my paycheck hits, $500 goes to the Roth IRA. I don't see it. I don't touch it. It doesn't exist to me. This removes willpower from the equation. If you rely on discipline, you will fail. If you rely on automation, you will win.
Phase 4, the exit. Year 2 plus. By now, I have a fully funded emergency fund. I have a high income skill. I am maxing out my tax-advantaged accounts. Now, I look for asymmetric bets. An asymmetric bet is something where the downside is limited, but the upside is unlimited. Starting a YouTube channel is an asymmetric bet. It costs $0, downside is just time, but the upside is millions. Writing a book, creating a digital product, starting a consulting business. Because I have my safety net from phase 2, I can afford to take these risks. I can afford to fail. If I launch a business and it makes $0, I still have my job and my savings. I am fine. But if it works, I escape the rat race entirely. Most people try to do phase 4 when they are still in phase 1. They try to start a business when they have zero savings and massive debt. That is suicide. You need the foundation first. You earn the right to take risks by building safety first. Let's talk about debt, because if I started at 0, I probably have debt. 0 I am talking about is net worth 0. But if I am negative, if I have credit card debt, that is a fire that must be put out. During phase 1 and 2, I am attacking high-interest debt with a vengeance. I'm using the avalanche method. I list all my debts by interest rate, I pay the minimum on everything, and I throw every single extra dollar at the one with the highest interest rate. Mathematically, this saves me the most money over time. Some people prefer the snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balance first to feel good psychologically. That works for some, but if I am restarting, I want the math on my side. 25% credit card interest is a financial emergency. I am not investing a single dollar except maybe a 401k match until credit cards are gone. You cannot outinvest a 25% interest rate.
Throughout this entire process, I am doing one thing that most people ignore. I am auditing my circle. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If I am trying to escape poverty, but my 5 best friends are content with being broke, complaining about the economy, and spending every weekend at the bar, I am fighting a losing battle. I would have to make the hard choice to distance myself. I would find new friends through podcasts, books, and YouTube channels. I would listen to people who are where I want to be. I would brainwash myself with success. If you put garbage into your brain, you get garbage out. If you put financial literacy in, you get wealth out. Let's break down the timeline, because people always ask, how long will this take? Months 1 to 3. It sucks. You are working all the time. You are selling your stuff. You are eating rice and beans. You feel tired. But you see the debt going down and the cash pile going up. You feel a tiny spark of control returning to your life. Months 4 to 12. You are tired, but you are skilled. You have extra income coming in. You hit a positive net worth. You have $5,000 or $10,000 in the bank. You walk taller. The anxiety in your chest starts to fade. Year 2 to 5. The compounding kicks in. Your investments are growing. Your career is taking off because you are a high performer. You look back at the person you were at day 0 and you don't even recognize them. You have completely rewritten your genetic destiny.
This protocol works. It works because it respects the math and it acknowledges the psychology. It doesn't rely on luck. It relies on aggressive action. But there is one thing that can destroy this entire plan. One trap that waits for you right when you start to succeed. Here is the twist. The hardest part of this journey isn't the beginning. It isn't the starving phase. The hardest part is the moment you get your first taste of success. It's called the yo-yo effect. You struggle for a year. You pay off your debt. You save $10,000. You get a better job making $60,000 a year. You feel rich. And your brain, which has been starved of dopamine for 12 months, screams, "Reward me." So what do? You trade in your paid-off beater car for a $40,000 truck with a $700 payment. You move into a luxury apartment that costs 40% of your income. You go on a financed vacation to celebrate. In 3 months, you are back at 0. But it is worse this time because now you have higher fixed costs and you have destroyed your confidence. You prove to yourself that you can't handle money. This is why most lottery winners go broke. This is why most athletes go broke. They changed their bank account, but they didn't change their thermostat. Your financial thermostat is the amount of money you are comfortable having. If you are set to 0, you will subconsciously find ways to get back to 0. You will spend it, lose it, or give it away. To survive the restart, you have to artificially keep your thermostat low. When your income goes from 30K to 60K, your spending must stay at 30K. This is the only way to escape velocity. You have to live like a secret millionaire. You have to look broke to become rich. The flashiest people are usually the broke ones. The guy in the 10-year-old Honda might have $1 million in the bank. Be the guy in the Honda.
Starting from 0 is terrifying. It is lonely. It feels unfair. And in many ways, it is unfair. The system is harder on you than it is on the wealthy. But staying at 0 is a choice. If you follow this protocol, triage, stabilization, acceleration, exit, you will move. It might be slow at first. It might feel like you are crawling through mud. But you will move. And eventually, the math will take over. Remember, your current bank account is a lagging indicator of your past habits. If you change your habits today, the scorecard will change. It has to. It is cause and effect. You have the blueprint. You know the phases. You know the traps. The only variable left is you. Are you going to wake up tomorrow and do the same things that got you to 0? Or are you going to wake up and start the audit? The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Do not let the fear of the time it will take prevent you from starting. The time will pass anyway. You might as well pass that time building your freedom. If this roadmap helped you see the path clearly, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video so we can get this message to more people who need to restart. I'll see you in the next one.